Hi guys, so in this quick video what I want to talk about is 5 things to discuss before you get married. And I know that marriage is on the decline. Well, that's what some people say, because people are spending more time now just living together. Some people are deciding they don't really want to get married, or it's just not an option. But I do feel it's important, if you are in a serious relationship, before you get to that stage where you get married, that it's good to discuss a few things. And the first one is money. Now, the discussions really should be around whether either of you has any debt, your history with money. So you could have discussions about spending habits. You could have discussions about how the person feels about money, if they've got any barriers or blocks. And the reason it's important is because you don't want to get into a situation where you are married and then you decide that, your partner doesn't want to go on certain types of holidays because they just have got like an issue with that, or where they've got so much debt or problems that you can't get a mortgage together. So it's really important that you discuss this, and in combination with discussing money issues, you should also be exploring how it's going to work when you're married in terms of money. So are you both expected to have an income? Are you going to have a joint bank account? Are you going to make decisions about money together, or are you going to give each other the freedom to do that? All of these things, it's worth having at least a bit of a discussion before you get married. The second one is roles. So one of the key things that comes up that causes arguments in relationships is division of roles, or division of labour, they sometimes call it. And that would be in terms of, is one of you willing to do the housework and to just take responsibility for that whilst the other person does other tasks? Are you expected to be 50-50? You need to discuss this, because people won't know unless you have that discussion with them. I've grown up in a very traditional household where, with 4 brothers and 4 sisters, definitely the women in the house were responsible for hanging out the washing, doing the cleaning, doing the cooking. My brothers could leave their dirty dishes on the floor, and my mum would come in and say, the house is a mess and there's women living here, girls living here. And I'd think the house is a mess because of my brothers, but my mum would she saw it, she's a Jamaican woman as well, and she saw it as women do the housework and men do other stuff. And I suppose I've picked up a bit of that myself, because I'm quite traditional, and I would say that within my relationships, I don't mind doing the housework and the cooking and the cleaning, but I do have an expectation that the man takes on some roles like DIY and stuff. You need to have them discussions. There's no right or wrong. It has to be what works for you. And the fourth thing is, you need to discuss children, before you get married. A lot of women will have their own biological clock where they say, I want to have a child by 28 or by 30, but they won't say that to the man that they're with. Or they might mention it briefly, but he might be saying, yeah, I want kids one day. That's a classic. All these vague phrases that people use are a way of them not giving you a straight answer, because they're worried that you're either going to leave if they give you the true answer, or they don't know themselves. But if you know for a fact you want a child by 28 and you're 27, then don't have someone say to you, yeah, one day, or I'm not sure, because you could get to your timeline and then realise that I'm still with this person but nothing's happening, and then you could get married, 2 years could go, more years could go. So you need to be clear, and it doesn't mean giving people an ultimatum, but it does mean being more specific. And the other thing you need to discuss is your goals, your dreams, and your expectations. And if your partner knows that you want to live abroad, or if your partner knows your dream or goal has always been to work, I don't know, in the military or to do a certain thing, then what you don't want is that person to come along and change your goal or dream, or for you to put it on hold for someone. And that happens a lot in relationships. People have a dream, a goal, a journey, a path. Someone comes along and they put everything on hold, and then later on down the line it rears its head in the relationship because you become resentful. And people will turn around and say, well, before I met you, I was doing this. You came along and you ruined it. But someone can't ruin it for you. It's the fact that you've decided to throw those dreams away or to put them on hold. So you need to discuss it, and maybe the discussion could be, I do want to marry you because I love you, but I also know that in 2 years' time, my goal is to move abroad, or my goal is to become a doctor. And you have to be adamant that you're still going to pursue that. And so, you know, if you're quite clear and you're quite confident in what you're saying to the other person, they've got a choice. They can say, well, no, I don't want to marry you then. Or they can say, I'll marry you and support you. But you have to just let them know. It's about communication. And the final thing is looking at where you will live and how you will live. Are you going to live together? Are you going to live separately? Lots of couples choose these days to have their own places. They're still married, but they just want their space. Other people might think, if you're living at your parents' house and we're getting married, I don't want you to move into my house. I want us to get a separate house together jointly. Can you do that? You know, can you get a mortgage? Do you want to get a mortgage? Also think about the location. It could be a big deal, you know, to live somewhere. You might want somewhere that's near schools because you want children in the future. You might want to live somewhere rural. The other person might want to live in the city. You know, you might want to live in a diverse community. Someone else might want to live somewhere that's more, you know, less diverse. You have to have them discussions before marriage. It's no point having them after. One of the key things I think that leads to the breakdowns of some marriages is people don't have the tough discussions in advance. And if you spend more time when you're confident enough that you've been dating for long enough and you have them discussions, there shouldn't be an issue. There should not be a barrier there, because if you're going to marry someone, then you would want them to be good with their communication. You'd want them to say, do you know what, this is what I feel and think. It's no point waiting until your wedding. Well, you wouldn't even do it on your wedding day. It's no point waiting until the months into your marriage and then bringing up stuff that should have been asked before. So what do you think should be on the list? What else would you add to that list? Please feel free to leave your comments, to share, to like, and to subscribe if you want similar videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.